Well, I think people are looking for practical ways now to make a
Yeah.
difference. You know, it's one thing to say that we're all going to be dead in 20 years. I don't personally believe that, but you can say that. Unless you engage the culture, you can't change anything. And people are looking for proactive ways now to change the culture's mindset, but also what we do with the environment. And one of those things, I think, will come from a surprising area, the area of holographic projection.
Okay.
A lot of money is spent every year on business-related travel.
Yes.
Yeah, I do a lot of flying, and you're always surrounded by business folks, and they're all going to conferences.
Yeah.
And of course, it's all burning fuel. But holographics will allow people in time, it's almost a commercial reality now because politics is using it, music concerts are using holographic
Yeah.
projection. But as a commercial entity, it could allow people to be virtually cast into meetings on the other side of the world.
Yeah.
In 2020, there's going to be something like 21 billion devices hooked up to the internet around the world, and 9 billion of those will be part of what we call the Internet of Things, which is a whole range of sensors in everyday objects, from food packaging to medicine packages to factory machines, even road surfaces will have these little devices hooked up to the net, sending and receiving messages to moderate the flow of traffic and in time perhaps even generate electricity to power streetlights. I think it will be a big year, though, for robotics and artificial intelligence in public venues.
Okay.
So, for example, in sports arenas, we'll have more people using biometrics to spot troublemakers before they get into the ground. Now, the problem with that is, of course, you've got to scan 1,000 good people to get the one potential bad apple in the crowd, as it were. But also airports, shopping centres might start using robot porters, waiters, greeters, are often used in Japanese phone stores now. Yeah, I think especially when they're engineered to be what we call social bots, which are bots that are programmed to read your facial expressions, your voice tone, and therefore gauge emotion and respond in kind. So in Japanese aged care homes, in thousands of them, these what look like cuddly toys but are sophisticated robots are used to help people deal with dementia, anxiety, confusion, loneliness, because they respond empathically to emotion, or pseudo-empathically. I'm often asked to comment on political issues. I prefer to talk about governance because that's the bigger question of how a government relates to its citizenry. And we, as I think many of our listeners will know, are facing something of a trust deficit when it comes to politics in the UK, as are many Western nations today. There are studies now, scientific studies into this, that have shown the growth of this trust deficit in the last 10 years. And it's a problem because high trust equals capacity to act. If a government's going to do what it should do and solve problems for the community, it needs the trust of its people. And so when we have a deficit of trust, government finds it harder to do its work. And I think in this next period, we're going to have to see parliamentarians on both sides of politics working hard to regain that precious currency of public trust with a commitment to the common good, to doing the best even for people who don't vote for their party. Today, our question isn't whether we should build robots, but how powerful they should be allowed to become. As things stand right now, up to 800 million jobs could be automated worldwide in the next 20 years, including 35% or something like that of jobs in the UK. And it won't just be manual jobs under threat, but professions like medicine, journalism, law. And the question will be, can we regulate things like artificial intelligence and its development so that it remains our servant, not our master? I think it's all down to human choice. The future is a product of human choices made in the present.